visions in my head. People tell me that I'm crazy. I tell them that's exactly it. I've got reasons for my absence.
Hi guys, welcome back to the I Love You So Much podcast. I hope you guys are having the best day ever, and I really hope you enjoyed last week's episode. It was an episode that I personally needed to hear, and I was quite literally not only in the room as we recorded it, but actually hosting the interview, and it is something that I just really needed. Last week we talked to Paul Fishman about confidence and comparison and kind of routines and mantras and people pleasing. And it was just such a good episode. So if you guys are feeling down, if you're being a little bit too hard on yourself or comparing yourself, definitely an episode that I would recommend. But today's episode is really exciting for a couple reasons. The first one being I have a very exciting announcement. We have a merch drop today, September 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am very excited. We're going to get into the merch in a second. The second being that we actually have Lindsey Carter back on again from Set Active along with 2 other team members. So very exciting. We're talking a lot more about maybe like the practical things behind Set Active. If you guys are not aware of Set Active, you are quite literally living under a rock. They are such a popular like athletic athleisure brand. I mean, it's like leggings. Would that be athletic? I feel like anything to me is athleisure too. I don't know, but I love Set Active. I wear my stuff from them 24/7. It's seamless. It's beautiful. I mean, they've got a lot of new stuff coming out too right now, but oh my God, I love them. And they are just a company that I really look up to because they have grown so much in the past year. Lindsey and I talk about this a little bit. I had her on maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And at that point, she had one other person working with her. And now, as of when we recorded this, I believe it was a team of 25, which is insane. So we're going to get into the details and all of the BTS of Set Active, which I'm really excited for. Something that I think is so cool about Set Active and something that I want to do for my own brand one day is they have really involved their community and they have made their consumer base or their customer base really truly a community, which I think is so commendable. And also it's just incredible. I love what they've done and I'm really excited to talk to them. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode. But let's get back to the merch before we welcome them on to the show. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have definitely seen the pieces. They're so cute. I've been living in them. I've kind of teased them in vlogs in the past month or so, and they're finally here, finally available. So we have, it is a t-shirt and sweat shorts, and they're really like neutral, which I love. It's like a nice beige color with ILYSM and chocolate brown, of course. So it's a matching set, which I think is so freaking cute. I wear mine 24/7. Then we have a cute little mug, which is the perfect thing to add into your morning routine, which we talk a lot about on this podcast. So I thought it would be perfect and fitting. The last thing, which honestly I'm probably the most excited about, is our trucker hat. I live in trucker hats. I wear them 24/7. I feel very trendy, very Gen Z, you know, very cool. Like maybe a little bit cooler than I actually am. And it's very cute. It's a brown trucker and it says ILYSM on it. Very low key. It doesn't look like super like merchy or anything. It's cool stuff, okay? And everything is $35 or under. This shirt is $30, the shorts are $35, trucker hat is $20, and the mug is $15. If you guys pick up anything, please post on your story your like order confirmation and stuff. I want to be like DMing and talking to you guys all day. Seriously, thank you so much. We do have limited quantities, so I do want to say make sure to get your stuff as soon as you can, and then we can all be matching. But I love you guys so much. I'm really excited for the conversation that we have with the Set Active team. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Well, I'm really excited that I'm here with some legends, some Set Active legends. I came dressed for the occasion.
You're in lychee.
Yes. Okay. Also, I was thinking about this on the way here. I know that everyone just has to know all the colors. I would never in a million years be able to memorize all those names in different colors. So
I actually was thinking that wasn't lychee. I think that's smoke.
Oh.
No, that is
brand
lychee.
new? Did you just get it?
No, it's lychee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm willing to bet $1 million on it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm the
Like,
CEO of the company, and I still to this day can't remember some names.
Okay.
But we have like set fans who like, we ran into someone in New York City when we were just there, and she pulled up her notes app of every single color she has. I'm like,
honestly, I should do that because I get asked on socials a lot. That would actually be a helpful tip for myself. I'm going to take that with me. Okay, so Lindsey has been on the show before. You guys can listen to that podcast, and we talk a lot about how the early days of Set and how Set began. But now we are here with some Set Active team members. So I want to talk a lot about like culture. A lot of people are asking about hiring, working with influencers, things like that. But do you guys want to introduce yourselves first with your job title?
Yeah. Well, you guys know I'm Lindsey. I'm the CEO of Set Active. And next to me is Nicholas.
I'm Nicholas, and I'm the art director.
I'm Nikki, and I'm an influencer manager.
Love that. You're like,
Nikki,
yes.
This is Nikki's second day on the job.
Okay, I want to hear about this. You guys told me you had a story, and I need to hear the story.
Okay, so Nikki Hertwig was my first friend in 7th grade.
That's so sweet.
I had just transferred schools second semester, and which is obviously really hard to do because everyone has their friend groups and everyone has like who they're comfortable with. And down the hall comes little blonde Nikki, and she goes, "Do you want to sit with us at lunch?" And that's literally how we became friends. And we were in the same friend group. We were really close. And then, you know, high school kind of took us different directions, but we always somehow found our way back to each other. And then she called me one day and she was like, what do I have to do to work for Set? Basically.
Wow. And
I really, you know, admired her just kind of throwing out the question, and we got on the phone and we played around with a couple different positions based off of her background, and now she's our influencer marketing manager.
Wow, I love that. 2 days in, how are you feeling?
Good. Everyone was so friendly, welcoming. Definitely that was nice because it's not always that way when you go to a new company and switch careers. So
it must also be really weird to have you see me now, because like, you know me as middle school Lindsey. You don't know me as like adult Lindsey.
No, not at all. So it is so different. It's like, whoa, it's inspiring.
That's fun. Speaking of hiring, that's probably the number one question people ask me. When you are, one, what is kind of your hiring process? And also, what are you looking for when you're looking at a potential employee?
That's a great question. It kind of depends. I mean, first and foremost, Nicholas has been with Set and me since day one. If someone said to me 4 years ago, Nicholas is going to be a full-time employee at Set, we would have looked at you and been like, that's really funny, but we would kill each other.
But not happening, simply.
Sorry, no.
Yeah, like simply not happening. But now Nicholas he's my best friend in the whole entire universe, and now our art director. But contrary to like the idea that we're best friends and work together, I actually think I say one word to you all day. Like, we don't talk unless like I call you into my office or we have a meeting. But like, I was looking at him yesterday and I was like, I don't think I've spoken to you all day.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the other day we were talking and I forget what we were saying to somebody about my job, and you were like, I actually have no idea what he does all day. But I know he's busy.
I mean, we have 25 people on the team now.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
So I think from when I last was on your podcast, it was 2 of us.
Yeah, I think it was just you and other Nikki.
Yeah, and now there's 25 people. So
it's so wild.
It's crazy. So what we look for, well, we use a recruiting agency. So my director of operations, her sister works for this company called The Workshop LA, and they basically place people into jobs if they like make the cut, etc. They're really good. But sometimes we also get really talented people not through a recruiting agency, like Nikki or Leslie. I forget who else we've hired that wasn't through an agency. But what we look for in a Set employee is like someone who's ready to kind of make Set feel like their own brand. I feel like they can speak on the company culture because they're out in the mix in the office. I'm in my own office normally during the day. But someone who's just driven. Like, we are hiring for a director of influencer marketing to come above this Nikki, and it would be a title jump for her, but I'm willing to take that chance on her because she has what it takes. She's driven, she's ready for the job, she knows it's not a normal 9 to 5, she wants to make Set her own. We call people who come to work for Set a Set lifer. Like, they're there, like, it's not there as a stepping stone to their career, it's like their end game. And I personally love to support everyone's journey at Set. So like, if Nicholas came to me and was like, you know, I've loved being the art director, but I really, really, really want to be on the marketing team, and I'm willing to like take a title lower to experience that, I would support that. I'm really all about like making people's dreams come true in the workplace if it is appropriate and makes sense.
I love that. What is the culture of Set like?
I'll let you guys answer that. We have a dog birthday party tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say it's like unconventional for sure. Everybody's very close. I think partly because, one, we do genuinely like each other, and also we all sit in the same kind of like open room, so if you need something you just like walk up to their desk or say their name, and we all eat lunch together all the time, and just I don't know how to describe it, but just the fact that we're like
A family.
like, even though that's like, I don't know, so corny, like Olive Garden, like set active when you hear your family.
Okay. Nikki, I mean, this is day 2 and you've got to see like what it's like in the office.
I would just definitely think that everyone works off each other. So if you have a question, you can ask anybody and they're willing to help. It's more of like a team environment than it is you just have your job and that's all you do. So I think it's nice that way.
When everyone like becomes friends and gets pretty close and it's like a family environment, how do you keep almost like boundaries in the workplace or not let certain lines cross or make sure there's still like respect for certain titles?
I think that's a great question. I obviously have my friends working at set. Allie's one of my best friends. Nicholas is my best friend. Nikki's one of my good friends. I've been friends with her since 7th grade. She feels like a sister to me. Mm-hmm. I do this thing called boss hat and friend hat, and it really works well for me. So like if I want to talk about something that's about work, but it's coming more from like a friend side of things, I'll say I'm putting on my friend hat right now. I know that sounds so corny, but it works. Like, or sometimes Nicholas and I will get in an argument about set. Like there was a time where he almost quit and he was like, I'm putting on my friend hat right now.
Go ahead.
I can't fucking do this anymore. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, I hear you. Because he was like, I'm coming to you as my friend and I'm not coming to you as your employee. And I need you to hear what I'm saying. And I think that's like how we create our boundaries. I mean, my friends that were so far, I know Nikki's on day 2, but the friends that like I have in the company that are my personal friend outside of set, I think we do just an incredible job separating the two, and we know when to turn it on and to turn it off.
I think also, like you become friends with the people that you work with, but it's not necessarily like you're directly friends with like the person you report to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no like, oh, you're my boss, like except for Lindsey, because like, you know, she's the CEO. But even under Lindsey, there's like people that you can report to kind of
before it gets to me. Yeah.
So like,
but the friend cap and boss like cap really works. Yeah. Or I say like I'm turning on the friend switch or I'm turning on the boss switch, and then I think that really sets the mentality for whoever it is that I'm speaking to, that like they have to take what I'm saying seriously or as their friend. And if it's the boss hat, they have to like respect that. But if it's the friend hat, they know that they can like, you know, we can have an open conversation about it.
That's really helpful. So when you guys are looking for influencers to work with or to gift to or whatever it is, what are you looking for?
We have, as Nikki just called it, a formula. It's something new for Nikki, so I'll let her kind of speak on what she's learned in the last 2 days, and then I can kind of piggyback off of her.
Well, they have to fit the set look, what they're going for, their just their engagement with all of their followers, how they present the clothing, and definitely, I think they have a wide range of who they market to.
Yeah, they have to be on brand, and on brand can mean so many different things. Like we don't just send to someone because they have hundreds and thousands of followers. Like that's just because you have a verified check mark or don't and have so many followers, you're not just getting a PR package from us. I think also the common misconception with sending to influencers, because we care so much about our community, and our community thinks sometimes like a comment arises like, it's so unfair that you just send free PR to influencers and not to like your customers. And we're actually building out a really cool program now where our customers can feel part of our PR gifting list. But that's our marketing. Like that is marketing. And that's, you know, it's not free product. Every single set that we send to an influencer is paid for. We're spending money on sending that package out. Everything down to the packaging and whatever else is accompanying the sets in the package, it costs money. And we recently only started tapping into paid ads, but we didn't do ads for the last 3.5 years. So influencer marketing was our only source of marketing. And so I think there's like a huge misconception there. But to that note, we're very picky on who we decide to gift. And they have to fit the, you know, the set qualities, I guess. We go through a long checklist of why someone should be on our PR list.
And just to clear the air, there's being sweaty doesn't get you off the PR list.
Oh no, there's tea there.
I didn't see
Did you
this,
see
but
the tea?
I didn't see it. I mean, if you want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm an open book.
Okay,
sister.
I actually am curious because I did hear about it from a mutual friend of ours, and they
Okay.
were like, did you see this today? But by the time I went to look, it had disappeared.
So what had happened was there's this girl, I'm not going to name her name because I don't need to like get that deep on the tea, but she basically like made this TikTok and it went viral that she was wearing one of our lighter colors, and obviously in any activewear when you wear a lighter color, it's going to show sweat. But thankfully, our product dries sweat very quickly. Anyways, she posted her PR gifting after her workout. She was sweaty, and she made a comment about how you could see her sweat on the set. And we responded saying it looks so good on her. Like there was nothing negative to what we said. I had the receipts, which is why I had to post it, because I was like, don't fuck with me and my brand, because I know that we have good morals and good values, and we would never, ever, ever tell another woman that they don't look good. And so
Wait, so she said you guys said you didn't look good?
She said that we took her off of our PR list because she like posted that she was sweaty or something, and we were like,
that's
no.
not
and
what
we
happened.
like didn't.
And she said that we said something about her sweat.
Yeah, so we opened up the DMs, and literally the only thing is she had mentioned us in her story a couple times, and every single time you can see we responded with something that was like, oh my god, love this, like you look great. She never responded to anything we ever said
And
or
Nikki
even opened
knows
our DMs.
from her training that like always stay positive and responding to someone in set. Like we want to lift women up. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to personally go open this DM, and I want to see what went down for her to make this TikTok. And I opened it, and it was so positive. It was like, you look great. It was like heart eye emojis. So you know what? I took a screenshot of it and I posted it on my personal Instagram, because I was like, you don't get to make a viral TikTok and call me out or call my company out for something that didn't happen. And then all of these DMs came through saying she's known for doing this. She's known for making up lies, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess someone went to go look at her TikTok video and she took it down, because I think the set community went for her,
That
which
must be why.
I don't condone that. Like, I don't condone the set community bullying other people, but I'm assuming that the set community went and was like this, trying to stand up for set. And I so appreciate that, but she took the video down, and so I took mine down because the job got done.
But
At
either
that
way,
point.
at the end of the day, it's like, we're not going to take you off our PR list because, like, you know, it's like we just said, it's hard to get on there.
It is
So
hard to get on
we're not
there.
just going to take you off for something, you know, dumb. But also, I think she thought she was taken off because she hadn't received something in a while. We drop so much stuff that
We don't want to ever overwhelm the influencer. Like, Nikki came to me the other day and she's like, how do you send every single drop to every single influencer? Like, don't they get like inundated with sets? And we don't. Like, we have to be so strategic on who we send, how we send, what color we're sending, what style we're sending, because we don't want to overwhelm. You know, imagine if you had 15,000 set packages. I'm sure you'd be really happy.
I'd be fine with it, but yeah.
But like,
I get what you're saying.
we like to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, we want to have strategy behind who we're gifting, and we don't want to overwhelm an influencer. Sometimes people get you see what people post
Yeah,
of
I
how many
mean-
packages are out there at their door.
I totally get that with PR. I actually asked to get taken off a lot of PR because it's just...
It's so
It's a
much
lot.
you can't get
Yeah.
through all of it, and you want them to post it. You want them to feel it, love it, talk about it.
not just be another package and you know.
And
Yeah.
it just like gets pushed to the side.
we had like back in the day one person ever ask like, hey, kind of a lot, and then we realized like, oh wow,
Yeah.
people can get overwhelmed even if it's, you know.
I think we're really
Great
lucky
stuff.
that people love the product and want every color because they see it as a collectible. But for like our core collection, like with this certain influencer, like we haven't had a drop since the core collection. Then we had a restock. We've already sent her core collection. We're not going to send core collection again. So people just need to understand that we're doing the best we can with what we have, and we have to be strategic with what we send out.
I think also, like, as an influencer, you're not entitled to everything, personally, from, like, my perspective. So I don't really understand the problem with that,
Same.
from my perspective.
Oh, and after everything, she's still on the list.
Yes.
I was going to ask, so there we go.
She'll
She's
still
not
be
off.
receiving.
There's
Wow.
no, like, I don't know if she personally saw my post. That's the tea there. We support all of our influencers. She still hasn't been taken off, even though she tried to bring us down. But, you know, I believe in second chances.
I love that. What a nice, happy ending to that story. I did hear about it, and I think you handled it very well.
Thank you so much.
There you go. I want to talk about the set community, though, because it is so crazy. This is something you see typically as, you know, communities that like influencers build or celebrities build or whatever it might be. But the set community, as far as for the brand, is so strong. Did you intentionally build that?
Yes.
How did that happen?
I think because, and it's something I still do on my personal Instagram. I want to know everyone's opinion, and I do that in my personal life too. Yes, at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident in making my own decisions, and to this day, there's sometimes where, you know, someone from the set community they'll say, I don't like that color, but I'll make the executive decision. But I think it's so important to listen to the consumer and hearing what they want, because you're making product for them. And so for me, it was really important to involve them in a lot of decisions that we make, or showing teasers and getting them excited. And I think that every single person that I hire on the set team, including myself, we're all normal, relatable people. And I think that the set community really respects that and turns to us, because we're not someone who seems unattainable. That like the level that we're at is unattainable, or how we look or how we dress. Like, I post the raw version of myself on my Instagram, pimples and all, and I think people respect that, and they trust what we do and how we do it because of the relatability.
She does it a little bit too much sometimes. We're like, can you stop teasing? We wanted to do that. We had a fun idea for teasing this out, and you just showed it. We'll be like, we have this awesome idea. She's like, yeah, that's amazing. I love it. And then 2 days later, she's like, posts the whole thing on her Instagram story. Like, what do you guys think about this?
I just get really excited.
We're like, okay, guys, scrap that.
There's a reason I've never had a surprise birthday party in my whole entire life, and it's because I hate surprises.
I hate surprises as well.
So
I'm the same way.
But I secretly also love them. So if you want to throw me a surprise birthday party next year, this is your note.
I threw the biggest surprise ever for you, and I feel like I've checked that off.
That was my
Been
engagement.
there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
was
he's
like,
done.
I had to pretend to go to Mexico. Like,
Wait, no way.
Yeah.
Wait, go into how did you do this?
I like made a fake. She was like sort of managing somebody at the time, and I made a fake PR email that like invited that person to an event and
To
like
DJ.
to DJ. And so like as her manager, she was like gonna go.
And I negotiated the contract with him.
Oh yeah, I was literally like negotiating behind the scene. Like,
I was
That
like,
is
no,
so
like
funny.
I remember you were like, we'll pay her $5,000. I was like, no, she'll do it for $8,000. And like we went back and forth negotiating.
That is so good.
and then I even like planned a trip to like Mexico for that weekend. So there's like, cause she wanted people, like all her friends at her engagement. So she knew like if I was away that weekend, there's no way it would be happening.
Yeah.
No way.
So I literally pretended to be in Tulum for like a day and a half.
he drove to LAX to take a picture that he was at the gate.
No way.
I like
my
I like
God.
Instagram storied like from the airport.
So I like it was a whole thing.
I
So
had to
I
go
was
all the
definitely
way in.
thrown off. It was the biggest surprise of my whole entire life, for sure.
I really respect that commitment, because going to LAX on just any given day when you need to be there is just a
Yeah.
hassle. I mean, going just for a photo.
Yeah, I just love a surprise, you know. So.
Yeah, that's so fun.
So that's why when she ruins our surprises on set, I'm like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
it was gonna be so good.
Oops.
What on a day-to-day are you doing work-wise? Like, what are some of your tasks that you're
I'd
handling?
love to know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
actually, Lindsay's curious as well.
Well, basically, like anything visual that you guys see goes through me, basically, and then sometimes Lindsay too. But like, so any
You
Instagram
can't be in the
story-
room when I do grid reviews.
Yeah, that was one of our stipulations of like me staying. But so like the photos that get selected to go on the grid, the Instagram stories, the paid ads,
How we shoot into campaigns.
yeah, campaign visuals. I work with our marketing director on that. Like homepage photos for the website, influencer gifting, like
Anything visual he touches.
literally if you look at it, I've seen it and said like, yes, I like that.
Okay, cool. Social media marketing-wise, what platform has performed the best for you?
Instagram.
Yeah, that's like dumb
And
question. You guys blew
Instagram's
up on
moving
Instagram.
towards, they're trying to veer away from being a photo sharing app. So we just had a meeting actually yesterday to talk about the strategy, how to move more into video. It's going to be a change, but if there's no change, there's no growth. So I'm excited to like see what we, do with that. Stay tuned.
I want to talk about that because that is stressing a lot of people out.
Uh-huh.
So, one, how do you feel about it? And then in certain ways, I think I feel honestly really bad for like photographers and stuff for certain brands because everything's heading into video. But how do you actually feel about this? Like, does it stress you out, or are you like, okay, we got it?
So, okay, I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like figure out where to start. My first thought is being able to pivot is the single like handedly most important thing you need to know how to do in any business that you're in. You have to learn how to pivot. If you don't pivot, then you can get stuck. I like to compare it to like kind of quicksand, like you drown basically, and it's a slow pull down. But that being said, I'm not here to tell Instagram what to do, but I'm also a big believer, and I think it's like why there's been, you know, so much back and forth with Set, that stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at, and stick to what you started with. Of course, you can elevate it and have it grow, but the basis and the foundation of what you're starting should always remain the same. And I'm a little disappointed in Instagram for changing that. And I know that they're trying to keep up with their competitors, and I know that they're trying to, you know, do things that are different, and I respect that, and that's great, but introduce that in a different sector. Like, call it something else under the Instagram family. I think personally Instagram should stay a photo sharing app. However, I'm also a big believer in it, like really keeps me up at night in the best way possible, and like finding ways to solve solutions. And like you said, like a photographer you feel bad for, but like I'm already running 1 million ideas on how they can pivot their business to stay on trend with what Instagram is doing. I love finding ways to get creative, and I think that the Set team, with everyone that's on the team, is going to find really cool ways to you know, stay in line with what Instagram wants to do. But I still will forever stay true to the fact that I think you should always stick to your foundation and what you know. If I was on the Instagram creative team and I had a voice there, I would say create something else under the Instagram umbrella that can compete with the competitors and allow you to stay up to date with what's happening. But don't fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, they're not even really trying to be different. They're just like, they're seeing something like, oh, we want to do the same thing, and they're only being as different enough as they can be to not get sued. So it's like, they're literally not trying to be different. But we also like don't have all of our eggs in one basket, so I'm not that worried about it. Like, props to our marketing team, but our email subscriber list is like just almost as many as our Instagram followers.
We
so
have
like
hundreds and thousands of email subscribers.
I also want to talk about this because this is a topic, just newsletters as a whole. I feel like for so long people weren't paying attention to them, like at least talking about them publicly. In the past year, I hear that so often from brands that their actual like mailing list is just as large, if not larger, than their social following.
So we make most of our money from our emails.
That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
Like an astonishing percentage.
Yeah.
Wow.
We also have a really kick-ass marketing team that puts a lot of thought behind our emails. Like, I am the CEO of the company, and the emails still hook me in. Like, I'm like, oh, what am I missing? Wait, what? There's a save the date calendar on there? Like, there's a plan your buy? Like, I am still so jazzed about the
I missed emails on my umbrella, but emails is also, the visuals go through me.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, another one. You're like, that.
Now that you're saying you like it, I forgot that's me too.
You're like, if you hated it, though, not me.
Yeah, that one wasn't me. Just kidding, it is.
What do you think the biggest lesson you've all three have learned from Set?
I would definitely say patience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki, this is day 2. Be careful what you say. No, I'm just kidding.
Stick with your gut too, because if you know something's good, like it usually is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. There have been times where now that we have 25 people, everyone has given me their opinions, and it's hard to like be like, no, I want to do what I think. And I definitely think that's true for sure.
Mm-hmm. Even with like a product, you know, like we maybe think we don't like something after we did it, and then realize you take it away and you realize, oh wait, crap, why did we do that? We had to bring it back.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, stick with your gut, whether it's on, a product or a color or a photo or
we saw a color today where my gut said no, but everyone really liked it in the office, that like orangey color that Nikki Shea put on.
The bright one or the darker one?
The darker one. And my gut said no, so it went into the no pile, and I'm gonna stick with it. Nikki, what have you learned? Day 2.
I would definitely say stick with your gut. Learning all the influencers, like now I can say like in my gut, I know, like, okay, that person is probably not someone that they want to use. When I was working with the other Nikki, too, we were going through them, and I definitely could figure out who was, like, the set girl or guy. And I would say ask a lot of questions. I think it's really important to always ask questions.
There's no dumb question at set.
Yeah. If you don't ask the question and then later on something happens, then you're like upset at yourself for not asking those questions. So I think always ask questions is really important.
We have such a big year next year. Like, we thought this year was going to be the crazy year, but next year is going to be like just like actually psychotic. So I'm sure a lot of other lessons will be taught in the next 8 months.
And lots of questions asked.
Yeah.
My favorite thing when it's like January of 2020 and you're planning at meetings for like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The fall, literally 2 years later. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
We planned next year's like
The whole year.
business model. Yeah, the whole year's planned already, but we planned that in January of this past year, also because I was having a baby in April, so we had to get a lot of the big meetings out of the way because I thought I was going to take maternity leave. I definitely didn't take it.
She was on Slack in labor. I'm not
You're
kidding.
insane.
She was giving labor, or she was in labor and on Slack.
Yeah.
I was like,
That is
okay?
actually insane.
Yeah.
I just make it work. I'm really tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what has that transition been like?
It's hard. It's emotional for sure. It's really difficult to like try to be present with Ace. That's my son, who I had April 16th. Because work set is also my baby. So I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard trying to find the juggle of being a working mom, but also being present with Ace at home. But I make it work, and I time block, and I put certain hours dedicated to work and certain hours dedicated to Ace, and then certain hours dedicated to my husband and friends. And the rhythm I'm in right now is working.
What's your rhythm, like your routine right now?
My routine. So Ace wakes up at 7. I spend the mornings with him. He goes down at 8. When he goes down, I get ready for work. I'm in the office by 8:30. Or 8:15. I live 2 blocks from the office, so it's really easy for me to like hop over.
She drives.
I drive because I need to save every minute. Every minute counts for me.
Like, and you need your car. I get it.
Literally every 60 second counts for me.
Fair.
So on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's when I have like my workout. It's my me time. So from 8 until 3 is when I can work and get a workout in. And then from 3 until around 7:45 is time with Ace. And then he goes down once more in the 3 to like 7:45 time. And that's when like I have time to shower or open packages or go through emails or whatever I need to do that's me time, I do in that time. And then Ace goes down and I'll either do a night in or I'll go out to dinner. And then I do it all over again the next day.
You're a superhero.
I'm tired just talking about the routine.
Yeah, I know. No, that's really incredible. How do you handle conflict at work, whether it's maybe a partnership that you no longer want to continue, something you want to turn down, maybe someone you have to let go? How do you handle like tense moments?
Our director of operations, Allie.
Yeah, Allie handles it all. She is one of the most patient people I think I've ever met, and probably like the most like understanding person. I sometimes feel like she's my therapist because she can handle any hard like situation that comes at her in friend life and work life, and she always gives me the confidence that we're gonna figure it out every single time, whether it's we're letting someone go or it's something that is a fire we have to put out. She always turns it into a positive that she's going to find the solution to make it right. And I think that's so important in having a director of operations. She's eventually going to be our chief operating officer. She's the reason that we kind of stick together. And Kaylin on our team, she's the glue to Set Active for sure. So she handles a lot, but I think Allie is the answer to your question. She handles anything that happens, bad, good, and in between.
That's really helpful.
You can't have her. If anyone's listening, she's with me for the rest of my life.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What is your dream collab?
Oh, I feel like we have good ones coming next year. I can't really speak on them.
Yeah. We can't say, okay, we won't say anything that's happening, but we can maybe have others. But
I mean, a dream collab, I'm just going to say it out loud, is Rihanna. If she could design something for set, I think that would be so iconic. She's someone that I like. She's gotten me through some, dark times in 7th grade and on. And I think she's an iconic person. I just think she's really well respected for being an A-list celebrity in the world. And I have yet to see anyone say something bad about her. And if they do, they clearly suck.
Yeah, and so we know you're listening.
Yeah.
We
know you listen to I Love You So Much.
Obviously.
That would be a dream collab. But honestly, I think we're trying to steer away from collabs. I think set wants to stand on its own. Collabs do well for us in certain capacities, but sometimes I think set does well on its own. We sell out of every drop. And I think I want to put the focus on innovating what we can do with set rather than a collab. But we have really cool collabs coming next year I'm excited about.
My idea of a dream collab is not someone that's gonna or something that's gonna sell us a whole bunch of sets, because like Lindsay said, we sell out. We sell out in minutes. But it's something or someone who's really going to align us with
a market that we're trying to tap into. So a secret that I'm willing to spill, I'm not going to say who we're thinking of to collab with. It's another brand, but we're doing something around winter and snow next year, hopefully in Aspen. And so we're building out what that collab looks like right now. And that's not our forte. Our strong suit is not winter and snow. So figuring out how we can get creative with another brand to have the set active brand live through something, an experience, or another brand collab, that's when we get really excited about collaborations.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love Aspen.
Me too. You can come.
Okay, I'll be there. So share some crazy moments that you've had with set, because set is still very young. Set has blown up so quickly. It's actually crazy the amount of success, and just to see literally it wasn't even 2 years ago we were sitting at the other studio and there was 2 people on the team. What have been some of the craziest moments for you with the brand?
I mean, the first one that comes to mind for me, and it was more of a personal goal, was Forbes 30 under 30.
That's crazy.
That was on my vision board in 2017. I've wanted it since I remember I took a blank check and I wrote set active on there and a bunch of zeros after a number, and I put Forbes 30 under there. It was just I don't really give myself credit, and it's more of part of my mental health issues that I have. I can never enjoy every milestone that we hit because I always want to do better. And Forbes 30 was the first time that I was able to kind of stop and really be proud of myself and recognize that I'm a real entrepreneur doing the damn thing. And that was the first time where I was holy shit, I'm really proud of myself. I can't say I've had another moment like that because, again, I'm always pushing myself to do better, be better in every aspect of my life. But that for sure was a holy shit moment.
Mine is honestly just when I see people wearing set.
We got stopped in New York on the street. Someone came up to me and was like, "Are you Lindsey Carter?" And my face turned so red, and I looked at Nicholas in shock. I was like, "What do I do? How do I act?"
The ones for me are the other girl that we stopped. We're like, "Oh my god, you're wearing set active," and she didn't know.
Yeah,
that Lindsay was on her, and us. It's cool to me that we grew this brand outside of our circle of people.
Yeah, we were walking down the street and someone was wearing sand, and I was like, "Oh, I like your set." And we were speed walking, and she turns around and she's like, "Thank you." And I was like, "I'm the owner." And she was like, "Wait, what?" She was so confused, and her eyes got really big, and she just had no idea, and it was really cool. That was
my
fun.
friend Val, actually, that I was staying with, I told her we were recording. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I met her at Alfred. I was wearing set," and she came up to me. I was like, "That's so funny." I see people wearing set all the time too. It's so crazy.
I was going to dinner last night at San Vicente Bungalows, and I was making a U-turn, and a girl was wearing Storm, and I just was sitting in my car, and I'm like, there's a random girl in front of me at the crosswalk just wearing my leggings. It still hits me to this day.
It's so crazy.
And it's also crazy when friends Nikki, her group of friends who I used to be friends with back in high school, who we're all now reconnecting, they'll message me, people I haven't talked to in years, and they'll send me pictures. Lisette sent me a picture yesterday in
her red outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see my friends who I used to be friends with in high school, who when we went in different directions, support me and support the brand, or just genuinely love the product. And I think that's also really special.
I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago and I had to go to somebody new. And they asked what I did, and I
you.
said, I work for an activewear company, like it's called Set Active. And she goes, oh yeah, Set Active, of course. And I was like, wow, like,
Yeah.
would I like know this if I didn't like know it? You know what I mean? I was like, wow, people like really do just know. I was like, the way she said of course was like as if like how could you not?
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally everywhere, guys.
Which is
I
crazy.
think it's
and then
a
like I
happy
see it everywhere because I'm like, we put it everywhere,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I know where to look. But then there's
No,
people
it's
that actually see it
everywhere.
everywhere, and I'm like,
I think
wow.
it's so cool. You can go to New York and be like, okay, who wants to meet up? And then you have all these people that are coming to meet you, and you're like, well, that's how you know, like, it's out there.
Yeah.
That's cool. To you personally, who has been the coolest person that you've seen wearing Set outside of someone that you knew? So like someone you maybe like grew up watching, or like musicians, things like that.
I hate to sound like the most basic bitch in the whole entire world, but it has to be Kylie Jenner.
Yeah,
That's
really fair.
That was really special for me. I mean, she's also a powerhouse entrepreneur. I mean, she literally has built a name for herself outside of growing up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and she has so many Instagram followers, and she is obsessed with Set. We get requests daily of, I want a new color, or when is this back in stock, or can we get this scent? And I just think that was so cool. I mean, honestly, though, it's the customers that blow me away. It's the Set fans. It's the people that send me pictures of their closets with their sets organized by colors, like hanging in their closet, or
That's so
like
cute.
a dedicated Set drawer. That's what's the coolest to me, outside of, the celebrities are cool and stuff, but it's the consumers and the customers that keep me going and keep the brand going. And that's what I get really excited about. When I get DMs, I have so many of people sending me their dedicated Set drawer. I'm just like, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
like a
really
celebrity
cool.
might wear it because their stylist put it in their closet and they're like, oh, this is cute. But it's the customers that are like, they go out and they seek it and they pay their own money for it and they like put
Are
it on and,
excited
then they buy
about it.
more and then they buy more. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
loyal to the brand.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see from the Set community who becomes a Sport Body fan. We have a new fabric dropping on the 30th.
That's exciting.
I think you're gonna love it.
Probably.
It's gonna be your new favorite.
There's nothing that I haven't. I really love Set. Also, what I love so much about it, even just from like a brand, like business standpoint, is it really is like a collectible thing. So it's cool. Like you never, like you always want a new color.
Right.
You know? It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we have comeback collection coming for Black Friday, so we have colors that were like bestsellers that are coming back.
Good. Then people can stop asking that in the ask box. Literally nonstop. Where's this color? I'm not kidding. It was really probably well over half of the questions were about colors.
Oh my gosh.
We've also done so many limited edition colors too that like you could go to a Pilates class without like 40 people in it and everybody's wearing Set and you could not be wearing the same thing as somebody else.
Yeah,
That's true.
We have our 100th color coming up.
That's insane.
And
I
it's-
know.
Everybody's heads are gonna explode.
Yeah,
That is really
it's a color
crazy.
we've done before.
Just,
Okay,
yeah,
And
you
it's
heard it
gonna
here
come in
first.
every fabric and every basic and sweats, and we haven't done that yet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
I'll tell
love
you
that.
when we stop recording.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing. Do you guys have either maybe a leadership tip, a business tip, business book, podcast? It could even be entertainment. It doesn't have to be in that avenue that you would recommend. Like, what is your current fave?
Honestly, I think I even said this on the last podcast we've done, but it's the 5-minute journal for me.
You did.
Yeah. I still think it's so important to like keep yourself grounded and understand what you're grateful for, because it helps you appreciate the small things, which is something that I clearly struggle with, like giving myself credit for how far Set has come. So being able to like stop and reflect on what you're grateful for and goals you want to work towards, I think really gets your mind straight for going after what you want. I know it's cheesy, but I'm telling you it works, and it's 5 minutes of your day.
I love the 5-minute journal.
Yeah, I would
I'll
say
try
that
that.
for sure.
Mine is like I guess a leadership tip. I don't know. I don't like listen to like leadership podcasts or like read the books, but for me it's just like, I don't know, the people on my team just know that like Nikki said earlier, there's no dumb questions. Like ask me if you needed a minute of my time, like ask me for it. I'm always checking in with them, making sure there's not too much on their plate or too little.
Yeah, no job is too big or too small. Like I know Nikki was really nervous to start because she was coming from a completely different background. She hasn't worked in influencer marketing before. And I told her, I was like, I know this, I'm the CEO of the company, but I am happy to sit with you any day of this week. And I taught every single person here how to do the influencer marketing program. And I'll sit with you and do this, but I'll also sit with the interns and teach them anything they want to know. So I think it's like no job is too big or too small, for sure. Having that mentality is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
I would definitely say be a chameleon, because you never know where your career is going to take you, and just be open to the idea of change because it's constant, and just welcome it with open arms because it's everywhere, no matter what you do.
I love that. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Where can they find you?
Set Active on Instagram, and then setactive.co to shop, and stay tuned because we're working on a TikTok. I can't say how successful that'll
Don't
be.
stay too tuned. For
Yeah,
that one.
don't
like,
stay-
you know.
Like
Set Active on
Yeah.
Instagram is where you can find us, and subscribe to our emails because we always show really cool things that we don't show on Instagram on there.
Love that. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to check out the merch. It's very exciting. We're actually not going to be doing a listener call-in in this episode, but we will be picking them up in next week's episode. So if you guys want to be included, you have a question, you need advice, you have a crazy story to tell us, you have a fun, nice little life update, whatever it might be that you want to share with our besties in this community, you guys can call 866-994-ILYSM and leave a voicemail. Be sure to join our group chat on Geneva. We have just a normal one, we have the Dallas one, we have business, we have, like literally so many groups in there. So be sure to join that because you're missing out on half of the fun if you're not in the community. You can join our Facebook group, follow us on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel where our episodes are fully on the YouTube channel. So if you guys would rather watch a podcast episode, don't worry, we have you over there. We also have a TikTok. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you in advance to anyone and everyone who purchased merch. It really does mean the world to me. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you next Thursday.
Your emotions are not wrong. Your emotions are there. They're there for a reason. And to make yourself wrong and to shame yourself out of feeling, oh my goodness, that's not a way to live.